the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Lawyer Paul Admocheri Nsem Atudwa. Therefore, Nsem Kitwakora. Lawyer Paul Admocheri or exclusive analysis about the various campaign and Dr. Alhaji Mahama Baumia na Yura, the former president John Dramani Mahama. Nsem Oditudwa na Baumia reply no so meeting meter. Utim se odina Nsem-Pii so ensem all kan ensem fata. Now her answers about me the manner. And the way about me campaign and no near ampa. Se kas ubi nim dia onim de. Obi na no ka kire ne say yenye campaign with issues. And nam so onni track record BNT. Odina Nsem-Pii so a ma ban enye no o se onya asembia aye atebdidie. Now her ensem about me reply. Yura John Dramani Mahama. Bibia show say ampa Dr. Alhaji Mahama Baumia onimde na edi ensem na yewura my friend say His Excellency the former president John Dramani Mahama kan etiefo ni nyina bebo akero no reply so a Dr. Alhaji Mahama Baumia eso the man no na eno na Lawyer Paul Admocheri exclusive wakire mu say ampa so wo hwe omumi no din dia etiefo wa bundi da tiefo Marancham yanko ninguti Lawyer Paul Admocheri any ensema yura Dr. Alhaji Mahama Baumia ne replier or the man John Dramani Mahama.
What does he mean by that? This is what he said.
Yebeko ohini biho oseo yebo abaso ejuma pa wa ye no na de yekọ asori a ni amana akoto ho o ye hira ho ubedi nkunim wa ya depa ezu okombosom ha ni ehwehwe ensa egu abosom no so e ka se wa ya de ye bosom no bedi wachi na wedi nkunim biom abanfo we wo bedi nkunim biom.
I like to listen to that. I like when Dr. Baumia goes to the priest, they pray for him and say that he will be successful. And then he goes to the shrine, they pray for him and say he will be successful. Then he goes to traditional leaders, they pray for him and say he will be successful. How can this, the word he used, I have to translate it nicely. How can this, what word will I use? Abayefun is what, please? Something. How can this government that is not doing well win elections again? And that's what he told the people. And I like the way he put it. And it shows that the campaign is getting to the home stretch. It shows that the endorsement that Dr. Baumia is getting is hitting John Dramani Mahama. But John Mahama has been president before. He has received the same endorsements. And even in this campaign, in some places that John Mahama has gone, the chiefs have said that he will win. I think he went somewhere in another region. The chief, they even installed him as a chief. And they said that he will win. So some chiefs said Dr. Baumia will win. Some chiefs have said John Mahama will win. But I get the sense that Dr. Baumia's own is more. I mean, the preponderance of Dr. Baumia's engagements with the chiefs and the narrative that comes out all the time where they endorse him and say that he will win is quite significant. And I'm sure that's what John Mahama is doing. Maybe John Mahama's handlers should tell him that he should ignore Dr. Baumia and send his message to the people. Discussing Dr. Baumia on the platform is may not be necessary. It may be good, but it may not be necessary. What he needs to do is to focus on his message to the people, focus on his policy to the people. Dr. Baumia doesn't talk about John Mahama. He goes and sends his message of digitalization to the people, his commitment to continue free SHS, he sends it to the people, his commitment to continue with gold for oil, he sends it to the people. He discusses the difficulty of the economy and explains why we are where we are and tells them where we were before and what he can do. I think President Mahama should focus on that and really drive home the point to the people to push him up to where he wants to be, because without telling the people what he wants to do with the baggage of a historical presidency, without he discussing the historical presidency, and without he also talking about his policy for today, I don't know how the people are going to just decide to vote for him. Listen to President Mahama again. Have a look.
Yebeko ohini biho oseo yebo abaso ejuma pa wa ye no na de yekọ asori a ni amana akoto ho o ye hira ho ubedi nkunim wa ya depa ezu okombosom ha ni ehwehwe ensa egu abosom no so e ka se wa ya de ye bosom no bedi wachi na wedi nkunim biom abanfo we ubedi nkunim biom.
And then Dr. Baumia said that he had heard John Mahama saying something, so he kind of responded. Here is what Dr. Baumia said.
ahemfo, imams, osofo, CSOs, omoye hypocrites. What you did that? Now saying so did the electoral commission at him. And that's so I say MPP government, a foolish government. Hey, what you did that? Where a casa I don't feel my opinion that we must have limited at least some standards of decency in the language we speak as politicians. Election year and Nsem-Pii is about ideas. Only ideas are then you insult people. Now what ideas are you present your ideas? Yet you will bold solutions to problems. We see a foolish government, but we have created more jobs than your government. We have built more roads than your government. We have built more interchanges than your government. We have built more bridges than your government. We have built more factories than your government. We have built more schools than your government. We have built more hospitals than your government. We have built more courthouses than your government. We have built more sanitation facilities than your government. We have built more hospitals than your government. We have built more sports facilities than your government. We have built more fiber optic cable than your government. Every sector of the economy, we have done better than you. Now see a foolish government. Every sector, anything I may say, Uji Hundia, Branaya debate, one-on-one, many will blow, Naya debate, Uji Hundia, Branaya debate, one-on-one. Osro, because he knows, sir, I speak with data. I speak with data. You want to share the brain, ever bought Ghana for
more schools than your government. We have built more hospitals than your government. We have built more roads than your. He said what? But when did Baumia land the tree? Charlie, this guy is brilliant. When did he land the tree? But 2017 he couldn't speak. 2018 he couldn't speak tree. Oh wow. He said, if you're Hey, Charlie, the guy is speaking tree like he was raised in Mensha with Napo together. Wow. This matter. But as for this issue of insults, we have said it, but some people will not listen. Media Foundation for West Africa, they said that the NDC media, they've been insulting. So it looks like the NDC political class is insulting. So their media to Bobier of the station, what's it called? Class FM. Bobier, 98% of his narratives an NDC journalist. No problem with that. He can be NDC, that's fine. But his 98% of his narrative is insult and unsubstantiated. It was a research organization that is not friendly to Akufo-Addo that found out those details. That 98% of what he says, Bobier at the radio station, 98% of what he said is unsubstantiated and is full of insults. That's how they do their broadcast. And the Media Foundation for West Africa identified that majority of radio and TV insults is from the NDC journalists. But Baumia is alleging that the NDC political class are also saying the same thing. That when you don't have ideas, you insult. What are we telling the children? When you don't have ideas, you just keep quiet. You don't insult because you are teaching the children something wrong. But they feel it's some pleasure. They insult and they are happy that they insult. So it's okay. I mean, well, the voters will decide, wouldn't they? The voters should decide. And when they decide, we all follow, isn't it? All right. John Mahama also said something that is also quite serious. He said that in the circumstances of what is happening now, and the NDC have built this victim analysis. When something is happening in the country, then they say, if it was NDC, like by now, where is this victim thing coming from? NDC has all the media. Apart from this media, which tries to project right-wing policy, all the media is NDC. Every media is projecting NDC because it is believed that media must be on the side of the opposition. That's fair, no problem. But NDC has more media than MPP. And yet NDC complain that if this was happening under NDC, everybody would do. If this was happening under NDC, why don't they ask themselves that? Why is it that if something is happening under MP, people don't complain, but if it's NDC, people are complaining? What is the rationale behind that? Are they just calling people hypocrites and calling people dishonest? The whole civil society is with NDC. All of them are with NDC. Or, let me put it again, all of them are against Akufo-Addo. The entire civil society machinery has been marshaled against Akufo-Addo. Because of the meeting he had with them many years ago, he told them off in the Jubilee House that he is civil society. So this is their civil society thing, they should wait. He knows what to do. He knows what to write. He knows how to govern. He understands what to do. And that he's been an important part of the Fourth Republic getting to where we are so that civil society can even thrive. Because he laid down his life so that civil society can thrive today. He made these points to them and then they're angry. So all civil society are supporting NDC. And yet NDC say that they are the victims of the narrative, the general narrative being put out, because if it was MPP, it would. I really can't wrap my head around that. Somebody must help me to understand it. Maybe when Anakomia comes, he might help me to understand it. This is what John Mahama said, which is quite serious. He's advocating, advocating may not be the right word, but he is sort of relishing a coup d'etat. I don't know. Listen.
Anka saa katasehye ne proya akoso ewo MPP aban mu. Anka ye NDC aban a anka by now soldier for etu ya aban ne fi ho. Me na meka no kra na meka kire mo. Katasehye ne proye ene ewisam ene kronobo akoso ewo Bawumia ne Akufo-Addo aban mu. Anka ye NDC ene koso ewo NDC aban mu a anka say ye two aban egu.
Let's do the analysis. John Mahama is concerned that the kinds of things that have happened under NDC government, if it had happened under MPP government, it would have taken over the coup d'etat. Mutinying soldiers would have taken over the government if it was under NPP. And the NDC. Let's look at the Fourth Republic. How many times has a coup d'etat been organized in the Fourth Republic? How many times has a court convicted people of a coup d'etat in the Fourth Republic? It happened once, and it happened under Akufo-Addo's administration. It didn't happen under NDC administration. So if at all anybody should be worried about a coup d'etat, it is MPP who should be worried about a coup d'etat, because it is in their tenure that the courts, the high courts, had to convict people for treason. Preparing and planning to overthrow the government of Akufo-Addo in 2018, the high court has concluded the matter and found people guilty of it. So what is President Mahama talking about? I don't quite get it. But this is a serious matter. And I hope civil society are going to deal with it. Because when the campaigning former president is relishing a coup d'etat and arguing that the things that have happened, if they happened under his tenure, there would have been a coup d'etat, I don't understand it. Because in his tenure, there was darkness all over the country for 3.5 years. What is worse than that? Not just darkness, but inability to do business. Inability for small-scale people to conduct their business because of the power failure. Not just darkness in the night, which creates frustration and makes people uncomfortable, but also that the business has been affected. And there was no coup d'etat. 3.5 years of blackout. John Dramani Mahama, 3.5 years. No coup d'etat. Nobody talked about it. You talk about a situation where the lights have been on for 8 years, except a blip of 3-4 months. And things have been working in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Things were working perfect. Inside COVID, Ghana was talked about as one of the countries who handled COVID the best in the African continent. And then you say that that situation warrants a coup more than throwing people in darkness for 3.5 years. That does not warrant a coup. I have never heard an argument like that before. Please, President Mahama must come again. You put the country in blackout 3.5 years. There was no coup. Nobody talked about coup. And you are saying that today there should be coup. Please play the Mahama tape again. Let's understand what he's trying to say. Play the tape again.
Saa katasehye ne proya akoso ewo MPP aban mu. Anka ye NDC aban a anka by now soldier for etu ya aban ne fi ho. Me na meka no kra na meka kire mo. Katasehye ne proye ene ewisam ene kronobo akoso ewo Bawumia ne Akufo-Addo aban mu. Anka ye NDC ene koso ewo NDC aban mu a anka say ye two aban egu.
US, you have to help me. You have to help me. It says katasehye proye ne koso aban mu anka ye two aban no. Because it's the civil society and the media and the general Ghanaian narrative favors the MPP more than it does the NDC. I cannot agree with President Mahama on this one. I cannot. Because in his tenure, there was darkness. People's businesses were affected for 3.5 years. If you're an organizer for 3.5 years, you're out. You're a hairdresser for 3.5 years, you're out. Schools had to be out. Because if in this situation, there would have been a coup d'etat. But the NDC situation under his tenure was worse than this. What is worse than having a blackout and not being able to do your business? What is worse than that? Yeah, the dollar is very bad. We all understand that. Yeah, the prices have been going up. Except recently, petrol price went down. We found a small glimmer of hope. But that's global. It's happening everywhere. And we are trying hard. And it's very, very hard in Ghana. But the lights are on. People's school fees have been paid by the government. Secondary school fee is September. Go and check the secondary schools. Go to Precise, go to Accra Academy, go to Infantiman, go to Kumpurugu Yo-Yo, go to Damango Secondary School. School fees has been paid by the government. You didn't pay anybody's school fees and you turn the lights off. And you come and tell us today that coup d'etat is warranted today and it wasn't warranted in your time. What kind of logic is this? Viewers, tell me, what kind of WAP logic is this? You come and tell me that a situation where Ghanaian children are having their school fees paid as a result of a global crisis, there's a lot of difficulty in the economy, no problem about that, no doubt about it. There is a problem, but no doubt about it. It is certainly a problem, but no doubt about it. And that's happening now, of course, it's true. But you tell me that the situation is so bad, but people's school fees are still being paid. And in your situation, you were not paying anybody's school fees. You didn't have any factory for people to work in. And the lights were turned off. People's small businesses that they were doing, they couldn't proceed with it because the light is gone off. Organizers, hairdressers, everybody, tailors, they couldn't go on. And you tell me that this situation warrants a coup more than 2014, 2015. I cannot accept that logic. I don't know how many will accept it. Let's see what goes on. Anyway, now Napo says something about John Dramani Mahama. That is confusing. And that's why they put these photographs here. President Mahama here, Professor J.E.A. Mills here, and Matthew Poku Prempeh there. What did he say? Have a look.
Kwame Nkrumah esa mai wo ho a anka me na po ko ba wo bomonsu me so be ka cha ne say President Mills esa mai wo ho a akodu do ma mo da prison nanui o ka ko di maika on pass and papa ke che Ghana for no o say Kwame Nkrumah esa mai wo ho a anka me na po ko ba wo bomonsu me so be ka cha ne say President Mills somehow akodu do ma mo da prison.
Every opportunity to ask him, but I really don't understand. He says that John Mahama said that if Kwame Nkrumah Ghost was alive, he would have beaten him up. But if Ghost can beat, then he, John Mahama, if Professor Mills' Ghost was alive, like John Mahama will be in prison. But the Ghost, are they judges? Can they put people in prison? I don't know. I don't know whether Ghost they can be Supreme Court judges and put people in prison. Because prison there, you have to, it's not Ghost who does it, it's human being. The judge, he writes by courts, by order. That's what happens. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway. Okay.